Hey there guys, what's going on? Andres Velasquez, the Dapper Realtor, real estate agent with Signature Realty, bringing you guys all of the latest and greatest. And generally I have the pleasure and the luxury of shooting all of my videos from my office with a great film crew that I have there from Joshua Productions, giving them a shout out. But unfortunately, because I'm practicing social distancing, I'm doing the video from home in my multi-purposed room here. So I don't have the capability of editing videos. Things will happen, unfortunately, unplanned things. People might walk into the room if things don't go according to plan. So just letting you know that I might not be able to make the edits. I'm just gonna try to power right through the video. I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes if I can. If you haven't, I've uploaded the first part of the video, which was more kind of COVID-19 general information about what's going on, as well as practicing social distancing. If you haven't seen it, please feel free to watch it. And this one is going to be a little more real estate oriented. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how it affects real estate markets for those of you guys that are looking to buy or looking to sell, and what sort of the ramifications of the COVID-19 virus is going to have on our real estate market, especially specifically and particularly to the state of New Jersey. And so before I get into the real estate, I did want to talk about one last thing, which was the stimulus bill. So all U.S. residents, specifically and only U.S. residents, anyone with adjusted gross income of up to $75,000 and married couples up to $150,000 will be eligible for a check in the amount of $1,200 or $1,200. And they are eligible for even up to $500 per child. Now, if you guys see me reading off the screen, I'm going to read what I found from the resources that I pulled verbatim because I don't want to give you any incorrect or false information. So I'm going to read it verbatim because, again, I want it to be as accurate as I possibly can. There is going to be a temporary suspension for any student loan held by the federal government. Keyword there being federal government, right? So there's no payments or interest accruing until the end of September of this year, 2020. Borrowers with federally backed loans can request a forbearance on mortgage payments for up to 6 months. You must contact your mortgage company, all right? If you have the opportunity to request a forbearance for someone who owns a property and maybe they're facing financial hardships, you have to speak with your mortgage company and ask them the details of the forbearance plan, because in some instances, because people can ask for a forbearance regardless of whether this COVID-19 outbreak was taking place or not, right? Some instances, forbearances will say, all right, well, you don't have to pay the principal amount, but you will have to be responsible for paying the interest. And for those of you guys who maybe have just recently closed on a house, most of your mortgage payment is interest, and very little of it is going towards the principal. So in that case, it maybe doesn't help you. So always reach out to your mortgage lender and ask them the specifics of the forbearance if you're requesting one for your mortgage payments. And then obviously the stimulus bill is also going to include an expansion for unemployment benefits, including 4-month enhancement of benefits, which includes freelancers, people who are working in the gig economy, and for anyone who's been furloughed, right? Temporary leave of absence from work, any of those employees will also be expanded within the stimulus bill. All right, so now we're going to get into what does this mean for real estate. So when I spoke about the mortgages and people who are maybe facing financial hardships because maybe they're not allowed to work or they can't work, they're unable to work, Fannie Mae is offering an assistance program for affected homeowners with Fannie Mae owned mortgages. Now, if you don't know if your house is owned by Fannie Mae, I will post a link in my profile that will help you find out whether your home is a Fannie Mae property. And it's very simple. You can do it just filling in all the blanks, hit search, and it'll auto-populate your loan and tell you whether it is Fannie Mae owned or not. And so these guidelines are specifically just for single family mortgages. So homeowners who are adversely impacted by this national emergency may request mortgage assistance by contacting their mortgage servicer, which is what I said previously. Foreclosure sales and evictions of borrowers are suspended for up to 60 days, so 2 months. Okay, homeowners impacted by this national emergency are eligible for a forbearance plan to reduce or suspend their mortgage payments for up to 12 months. Okay, but you have to contact your mortgage lender. Again, super important, right? Because some of them might be operating under different guidelines. This one, which is one of the bullets that I thought was really neat and awesome, credit bureau reporting of past due payments of borrowers in a forbearance plan as a result of hardships attributable to this national emergency is suspended. So the credit bureau can't report any late or missed payments because you're in a forbearance plan due to this national crisis. So that's awesome. That's great. It's not going to impact your credit score. Homeowners in a forbearance plan will not incur late fees. Again, awesome, great plan. After the forbearance, a servicer must work with the borrower on a permanent plan to help maintain or reduce monthly payments amounts as necessary, including maybe even possibly a loan modification. So again, reach out to your loan, your lender or your mortgage bank, whoever you're making your payments to, reach out to them and see what sort of plans they can help you out with during this crisis. If you need help figuring out whether your house or your loan is a Fannie Mae owned loan, you can obviously use the link that I'm going to post in my profile. And so now on Monday, March 30th, which was yesterday, Governor Phil Murphy declared that real estate agents are considered essential business. So as a real estate agent, I can still conduct business, show properties. I can do one-on-one or one-to-one basis of showing properties or to immediate family. Okay. Open houses are strictly prohibited. Real estate agents cannot host open houses. It is forbidden. As well as if you are for sale by owner, I know it's a little bit harder to track and kind of be mindful of it as someone, you could say you're for sale by owner. Oh, who's going to know? Listen, it's not worth the risk. You can incur some heavy fines if you are hosting an open house, especially when the governor of the state is highly against a congregation of a lot of people. So please do not host any open houses. I urge you guys not to do it. Now, what are we doing as real estate agents and within the New Jersey Association of Realtors? Well, we're adding additional disclosure documents that must be signed when showing a house, previewing, or listing a home for sale. Okay, so there are disclosures that we're asking all of the buyers and sellers alike to sign prior to showing a house or when we're putting a house up for sale. Many buyers and sellers are putting their houses, are putting a pause on buying or selling, right? Realtors are still showing and some of them are showing at their own discretion. Now, me personally, I think I'm taking it on a case-by-case basis from what I'm doing because I want to obviously practice social distancing and I don't want to put anyone else in my family, in my household at risk. So what I'm doing at least is I'm limiting showings to vacant homes or to homes that don't have large families. I might even consider not going into the houses if a client really is interested in a specific property that is owner occupied and maybe is a family inside. I would try to see if there's a way that I can do maybe videos where I can show them a video tour, have the listing agent make a video and send it to a client of mine so they can get an idea of what it looks like inside. Otherwise, if they really want to desperately go inside, I will probably not be going inside these homes because again, I want to really practice social distancing. I don't want to put anyone else at risk, but I can't stop people from going inside houses. And every agent's going to be different. Some agents are they're not taking any risks and they're not doing any showings and they're asking their clients to wait at least until this period is over, as kind of calmed down a bit. And one of the things that we've seen in the news is that we're trying to flatten the curve, right? We're trying to get to that peak point, which from what I've been reading, we haven't reached it yet. Somewhere around the middle of April is where we're expecting to hit those peak number of COVID cases. We don't know yet. Everything is kind of just up in the air right now, but we're trying to figure that out one step at a time. If you're going to show houses, agents and clients, potential buyers alike, make sure that you're wearing gloves, make sure that you have at least shoe covers, and make sure that you have hand sanitizer readily available. If you're a homeowner and you're gonna allow people to come inside your house to show it, make sure that you leave all the lights on, turn on all the lights, and leave all of the doors open, all closet doors open, leave all cabinets open, because the last thing you want, especially if someone's not wearing gloves, is to come inside and open every single cabinet door that you have in the house, or every door or every closet that you have in the house, and now they're spreading the germs. Maybe they have it, maybe they don't. Again, we're taking all the precautionary measures that we can, but you want to make sure that you can take those steps in advance to prevent the spread of any of these, the spread of the virus. And so if you're a home seller right now, let's say you haven't put your house up on the market, or you're considering it and you really wanted to, but the COVID-19, the spread, the outbreak is kind of preventing you, but you really need to sell the house. All right, one of the things that I would strongly advise you guys to do is maybe ask your agent to request a pre-approval prior to showing. You don't want people looky-loos to come inside the house if they're not pre-approved, right? If they're not pre-approved, they're not coming in. And that's what I would tell my clients, especially for those who are sellers, because why would you want to risk the chance of spreading the virus if the person they're not eligible, right? They don't have the financial means to purchase. Now more than ever, it is super important to choose the right agent. I've said it before. I mean, it's important to choose the right agent under any given circumstance. But now more than ever, it is super important to choose the right agent. Well, why do I say that? Because everything is going to be digital. I mean, even after this outbreak is calmed down, and we kind of hopefully get back into the normal swing of things, things are going to change drastically. I mean, we're realizing that most people can work from home. Everything is becoming more virtual, and now more than ever, you want an agent who can give you and sell you those features, especially when they're listing their house, right? Virtual tours, which includes Matterport. And if you guys haven't seen it, I've made a post about it before. I'll reshare it and post it again. Matterport is awesome. It's great. And for those of you that don't know, it's literally like walking inside a house and you get to tour it with great quality imaging. You get to tour the house and see every single nook and cranny and area that you want within the house. And it's great. And you don't ever have to step foot in it. And now what does that do for someone who wants to sell their house and they want to limit the number of people who go inside? It really, really gives the idea or the feel of what it is to be inside the house. Video tours are a great tool too. If I had to choose Matterport or video tours, I would honestly choose Matterport. But again, it's another alternative. Video tours are great. You know, doing floor plans, especially for people who are purchasing and they're maybe 35, 40 minutes away. Given the circumstances, it's even more important now, but floor plans are a great idea to kind of give you a sense of the size of the bedrooms, as well as the size of the living rooms, kitchen, dining room, all the other things that are features of the house that you want to kind of get an idea of the orientation of the layout, right? And it is critical that you limit the number of people coming inside. You know, ordinarily, I would say the more the merrier. You want more people to come in. That's awesome, right? We want to create this idea of illusion, but unfortunately we can't do that right now, because for the simple fact that it will cause a greater outbreak or a greater spread of this virus. So you want to limit the number of people coming into the house, and if you can do so by giving video tours, by giving floor plans, by doing Matterport, and being able to broadcast it across multiple spectrums, this is what you want in your next real estate agent. And so now, what does this mean for home buyers? Does this mean that the housing market will reset? Well, from what I'm seeing, the spring market has pretty much been postponed until midsummer or early fall, okay? We don't know necessarily yet what home sellers are gonna do. I did pull up some stats, at least from the last 2 weeks, to give you guys a general sense of what's happening and what might be to come. But in essence, I personally, now these are all my opinions based on the way that I'm seeing things, but buyers now have complete leverage. I mean, the number or the pool of buyers have significantly dropped from my perspective, especially because some buyers unfortunately are facing hardships, or some buyers who are on the market looking to buy are facing a lot of hardships, and their financial hardships that they have this, they're not certain of their job security. Maybe they've been laid off or a furloughed worker. So it's difficult, and they don't know what to do or how to navigate through that. And so in which case, it means that those buyers who are still working, who have the opportunity to still work and they're still making money, they have now essentially lost the level of competition that they were at before. So maybe now I think buyers have more of a chance to be competitive. I don't think the housing market has crashed. I mean, people are saying, oh, inflated prices. No, they're not inflated prices. Homes are still being appraised, and they're being appraised accurately. Before this whole COVID-19 outbreak started, I had homes going under contract in end of January, beginning of February, and still homes were being outbid. Yet when we would win the bids, winning these highest and best situations, homes would obviously, I already knew that the houses were going to underappraise, right? Like the value that we were giving was going to be more than what the actual market value of the house is. And lo and behold, it was true. And generally, what you end up doing is either you ask the seller to reduce the price to the appraised value, or you meet them somewhere in the middle. But no, people are saying, oh, the housing market is going to crash. I don't think so, because homes have been appraised and are still continue to be appraised at the values that they are. And what you might see as a home seller and a home buyer alike is that outbidding, these highest and best situations, are not going to be so common anymore. And now these are the stats that I pulled up. Again, I told you guys before, I'm a very big statistician or numbers guy. I love numbers. I love looking at numbers because it really puts into perspective everything. So new and coming soon homes in 2019. This was last year, 2019. This is from March 17th till March 31st. 2 weeks from today, 2019. 269 residential, so one family, residential homes in all of Passaic County. 269. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. March 17th to March 31st, this time last year, 2 weeks' time, there were 269 residential homes listed for sale in Passaic County. Now, fast forward to today, 2020, Passaic County, from March 17th to March 31st, you have 133 residential listings. 130. That's less than half. Less than half of the houses are being listed for sale. So yes, to answer your question very plainly, homeowners are being a lot more hesitant to putting their houses up for sale, and for good reason, right? It makes perfect sense, but that just means that the spring market is going to be pushed back until at least midsummer to early fall. It all depends on how quickly we can, find a tactic and an approach to be able to help people and contain the spread, and then we'll see how the cards may fall. As far as homes that have been back on the market from March 10th to March 31st, again, this is all just in Passaic County. In this year of 2020, March 10th to March 31st, the number of homes that have been back on the market, total 51 homes came back on the market. Could be a variety of reasons. Maybe the deal just fell through on its own without having anything to do with the COVID-19 virus. Or it could also be that it did, right? Like maybe buyers who are purchasing had this sense of concern, which rightfully so. They just didn't want to purchase anymore, and they were hesitant, and they killed the deal. Of the 51 that went back on the market, 12 are back under contract, okay? And of the 51 that went back on the market, 4 have been withdrawn. And since then, from, again, March 10th to March 31st, you've got 37 listings that have been withdrawn from the market. 31 of them have been temporarily withdrawn. Now, when I say withdrawn and then temporarily withdrawn can be either a conditional or unconditional withdrawal, meaning, maybe the homeowners, they said they're just going to withdraw conditionally, with the sense that they think that the coronavirus is going to, continue to dwindle down a bit, or they've just decided they're not going to put their house up for sale anymore. And then the temporary withdrawals, it could be a number of things. It could be, again, just wanting to wait and see how this virus is going to spread and how it's going to impact maybe the showings or the pool of buyers that are going to be purchasing their property. So, finally, with that being said, I want everyone to continue to practice your social distancing. Obviously, be safe, be mindful of your health. For someone who's a big fitness fanatic, I don't know how hard it is to have the strong urgency to just dig through your fridge and through the snacks cabinet and just kind of eat and munch on everything. So, be mindful of it. Go on walks. I know that the governor has not said that we just can't go out completely. So go on walks or runs. Obviously, being mindful of people, keeping your distance from them. Now, more than ever, I think is the time to reach out to loved ones, friends, family, ensure that they're okay, that they're safe, and check in on their mental health. Because a lot of people, I feel like they can cope with their struggle by being able to interact with other people. And some people are creatures are social creatures, right? People enjoy or kind of thrive on being with others. And then the fact that they've gone from being a social butterfly to being someone who has to be isolated it's hard, it's difficult. So check in on those friends, those family, because you never really know that who's facing what sort of mental issues, especially if they're not on display or they're home and you can't see them. As like everything in life, right, we will continue to face hardships, whether it's a COVID-19 outbreak, something on a global level, or something on a little more of a personal level. But our biggest goal, I think, me and everyone else, I think their biggest goal should be to strive to be and do better, whether it's being more prepared, more proactive, or taking care of others. So with that, guys, I really hope that you took a lot from this video that I made for you guys. I know that I would have loved to have made it a little bit sooner, but I wanted to make sure I got as much information as I could. And obviously, I wasn't going to be able to get up-to-date information in terms of the market to give you guys an idea of how things have shifted in the last 2 weeks and maybe what's even to come for the month of April. So if you guys have any questions, obviously feel free to reach out to me. Again, if you liked the video, hit like, comment below, tell me what you liked, share some thoughts with me if you want, as well as comment and tag friends if you think that this would be a useful video for them to watch. Or if you want to send it personally to them, you can share it, send it over to them directly and see if it can help them, any of the resources that I provided. Again, I'm going to put that link in my profile. So if you want to know if your house is a Fannie Mae owned home or a Fannie Mae owned mortgage, obviously it's very simple. If you have any questions, you have trouble figuring that out, please let me know. Also, signaturerealtynj.com, www.signaturerealtynj.com. It's a website. If you check, we actually have a tab up on the top. It's a COVID-19 tab, and it has a whole bunch of resources and tools for you guys to explore if you're curious. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I know it was a lengthy video. I didn't expect to talk that much, but obviously I am a motor mouth. I never stop talking, unfortunately. But listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. And again, share it with everyone. Until next time.